Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition on Nintendo Switch.
Aye. Har har har.
Nah, that's right. I don't necessarily have anything I want.
This time, actions must speak louder than words.
I shall slay you. Are you ready for me?
Your life is forfeit.
I know the routine. Show me a target and I'll smash it. I
Gods
know the
grant me
routine.
strength.
Show me a target and I'll
Are
smash
you
it.
ready for me?
Victory.
Looks like I'm
It is
gonna
a shame
have to
that
go
you
on a
must
killing
resort to
spree.
violence.
Oh god, oh shitload of them. Back off a little. Yeah. Let's get him over here first.
This time, action will make
taste
this
of
as
this?
painless as possible. I'm a busy man.
Maybe
It
you
is a
will.
shame that you must resort to
Show me a
violence.
target
and I'll smash it.
I shall see you to your grave.
Gods grant me strength.
I'll make this as painless as possible.
To victory.
Let's spill some blood.
Caravan contract. This wrinkled piece of parchment appears to be a written contract of sorts. Balin, deliver these 5 crates of supplies to the Emporium in East Haven. Make sure to get a fair price from that unscrupulous Kalashite weasel Pomab used to acquire the 3 barrels of uncarved scrimshaw from Gaspar's warehouse there in East Haven. Return to Caradineville with the 3 barrels, and you shall have your agreed upon payment. Keep your eyes to the tundra. There have been reports of orcs in the hills outside of East Haven. It might be wise to use your advance payment to hire on some extra caravan guards. Safe journey. Miss Galloway of Caradineville. Well, yeah, he didn't follow your advice apparently. Horror, Necromancy, level 2, visual range of the caster. All enemies within the area of effect must save versus spell or flee in terror. Certain creatures, such as undead, are immune to the spell. Not usable by cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, shaman, thief, illusionist, transmuter. usable by most classes. Let's see what I got here. It's Bard Mage. Winter Wolf Pelt. This pure white pelt of the Winter Wolf is soft and luxurious. It is often sewn into garments as diverse as the rugged vests of the northern Uthgard barbarians and the delicate and fashionable winter souls worn by noblewomen throughout the Sword Coast region. Yeah, something to sell. Cleric Ranger. Nobody can use this battle axe.
A little fire and lightning should lighten things up.
It is a shame that we must resort to
Show
violence.
me a target and I'll
Bring it
smash
on!
Gods grant me strength to victory.
I know the routine. Show me a
It
target
is a
and I'll
shame that
smash
we
it.
must resort to violence.
I shall slay you all.
Let's see. I think this is it. So much for the caravan.
Aye. Har har har. Sure. Oh, all right.
Oh, good. You've returned. What news of the caravan from Caer Dineval?
I came across the caravan just outside of town. It looked as if it had been attacked some time ago by orcs. I tracked the orcs to a nearby cave and paid them back for their butchery. The caravan supplies are safe within the cave.
Strange. It is not usual for orcs to be so brazen as to attack caravans so close to town. I wonder if it is the anticipation of the coming winter that is driving their actions, or if it is something more. In any case, at least we can still retrieve the supplies, thanks to you. You've proven yourself to be quite capable. I'm glad you've decided to come along with us to Kuldahar.
Thank you. When do we leave?
We still have preparations to make before we can depart for Kuldahar. Take this list of supplies to Pomab's Emporium across town. While you're there, you might outfit yourselves with whatever gear you think you may need. Return here when you are packed and ready to go.
Very well, I shall return shortly.
Sure. Sure.
I have come to deliver the supply list from Hrothgar. Very well, give it here. Now be on your way. The expedition will be departing shortly. It would be a shame if they left without you. One moment, I'd like to buy something. Let's see here. Not usable by Bard, Mage, Monk, Thief, Kensai. Let's see, flail. she's a mage, so... Spell grants significant immunity to all petrification attacks. This includes Basilisk, Medusa's Gaze, Curse Scrolls, and Petrification. Not used by Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Thief. Okay, well... Cleric, Druid, Mage, Shaman, Thief.
Aye. Har, har, har. Aye.
There you are.
Har,
All
har,
is set.
har.
The others are assembling as we speak. Are you ready to leave as well?
Yes, we are ready. Let us be off.
So it was that the Patchwork militia set off from East Haven, bound for the troubled village of Kaldahar, with the party of strangers in tow. On they traveled, across the windswept tundra of the Dale, through the foothills of the spine of the world, and upwards on the steep and treacherous trails of the Kaldahar Pass. Eager to seek out the evil that threatened the pass, they did not expect it to find them first. High upon the cliffs of the pass, a band of frost giants had prepared an ambush. Hurling boulders and dislodging massive outcroppings of rock and snow, the giants sparked an avalanche that thundered down the mountainside and crashed down upon the heads of the unsuspecting expedition. Those fortunate enough to survive the avalanche pulled themselves free of the mountain of snow and bodies that now barred the way back to East Haven. Battered and disheartened by the loss of their comrades, the survivors had little choice but to continue on to Kaldahar, alone.
Merciful gods, you're lucky to be alive. Oh, you are right? Anything broken? We seem to be in one piece. Who are you? I'm just an aging soul who prefers the solitude of these mountains to the hustle and bustle of town life. I tell you, I have lived in this pass for years, and I've never seen anything like what just happened. You witnessed the avalanche? Yep, I saw the whole thing. I was sleeping in my cave over yonder when I felt the ground begin to shake and heard a rumble of something fierce. I stumbled outside just in time to see the avalanche come crashing down. It's a good thing you ran forward instead of back into the pass like the others. Poor bastards. One thing's for sure. I'm not digging their bodies out from under there. They'll have to wait till the snows melt to receive a proper burial. We're touched by your concern for our fallen comrades. Do you by chance know the way to Kuldahar? Kuldahar? Why would you want to go to that miserable little burg? Nothing there but a big tree and a bunch of shacks and lean-tos. It's an eyesore if you ask me. There has been word that some sort of trouble has befallen the town. We've come to lend whatever aid we can. Look, all we ask is directions. Now, can you help us or not? On second thought, we'll find our own way. Okay, a fool's errand. You'd be better off worrying about yourselves and leaving them townsfolk to deal with their own problems. We would appreciate the advice. Now, do you know the way or not? I suppose it wouldn't hurt to point you in the right direction. Follow this trail east through the valley. Kandahar lies just beyond the old mill. But you do well to keep your guard up. There are goblins everywhere between here and town. Filthy little buggers. Ever since them townsfolk abandoned their farm sheds, they've been crawling all over the valley like they own the place. Thanks for your help. Farewell. Lich up.
Are you ready for me?
Lich up.
Let's
Bring it
spill
on!
some blood.
A
Are you
little
ready
fire
for me?
and lightning should liven things up.
Looks like I'm gonna have to go on a killing spree. Aye. Har har har.
Got shields and battle axes and arrows. Take a shield. Let's see. Can anyone use a shield? Cleric can. Fire got his name given to the chandelier that contains thin lines of iridescent geothite. When properly cut, the iridescent displays red, gold, brown, and green hues. The finest specimens are partly translucent. Well, I guess I don't need it for anything. No, it's just a ring. Don't do nothing besides being a ring.
Let's dance.
Ow! Ow!
Arrows and daggers.
To victory.
Ow! Looks like I'm gonna have to go on a
victory.
killing spree. I'm a busy man. I got places to go, monsters to kill.
Gods grant me strength.
This
Gods
time,
grant me strength.
actions must speak louder than words. I'll make this as painless as possible.
Chickens everywhere. was about to say, what? Chicken attacking me?
God,
Are you ready, Strength?
Where the hell did that come from?
It is a shame that we must resort to
Places
violence.
to go, monsters to kill.
It is a shame that we must resort to
Show me a
violence.
target and I'll smash it. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to go on a killing spree.
They had nothing but their weapons on them. Goblin Marshal, what am I doing here? Can you speak common? Of course, not all goblins are idiots. Just most of us. What is buzzing in my head? What's wrong with you? I don't know. Something in my head. It's whispering things to me. My mind can't understand it, but something inside me does. I have to answer it. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. We'll be going now. Farewell. Who are you? I am Olagard, Chief of Bleeding Eye. Bow before me and pay tribute. Are you serious? Do not mock Chief of Bleeding Eye. You give tribute now or die. Sorry, but I'm not going to give you tribute. You insult me. Wolves will feed on your flesh tonight. We'll see about that. The jump.
You want a taste of this? Are you ready for me?
Looks like I'm gonna have to go on a killing spree. Har har
You
har.
want a taste of this?
I'm just a marauder. I'm just killing shit left and right.
A little fire and lightning should liven things up.
Aye. Har har har.
This is part of the mill's machinery. Despite the recent presence of goblins, it seems to be intact.
Well, looks like I'm gonna have to go on a killing spree.
Sure.
Aye. Har har har. Aye. Har har har.
Yeah, I know. My character is kind of a moron.
to victory. God, give me strength.
I was headed east.
Sure.
Kaldahar.
Fighting their way through the goblin-infested valley of the pass, the survivors of the doomed East Haven expedition at last came upon the small hamlet of Kaldahar. Nestled within the roots of a massive oak tree, the tiny cottages were a welcome sight for the weary travelers. As the party approached the town, a warm breeze blew over them, chasing away the chill of the frozen pass, and carrying with it the sweet scent of cooking fires.
Aye. Har, har, har.
I knew you'd make it through. I just knew it. Who are you, and how did you know we were coming? I'm Nate. Arundel said that help was on its way. I've been out here every day, keeping a lookout for you. Where's the rest of your army? Are you just the scouts or something? Sorry to disappoint you, but we are alone. Alone? I thought for sure that the 10 towns would send an army to help us. Wait till Arundel finds out it's just you. Who's Arundel? Arundel's my friend. He's the oldest and smartest man in the whole world. He can talk to animals, you know. You should probably go see him. He'll be wanting to talk to you too. Very well, where can we find this Arundel? He lives across this bridge on the other side of the brook. Just look for the house with the 3 big rocks out in front. Thanks, Nate. Farewell. Is this the one?
Welcome. I've been expecting you for some time now.
You must be Arundel.
Yes, I am Arundel, known to some as the Archdruid of Kaldahar. Though I invite you to dispense with the formalities and just call me Arundel, plain and simple. Titles tend only to serve one's own vanity and aren't really of much use in this small mountain community.
You are the Arundel, and then I assume you can tell me what's going on around here.
Yes. It was I who sent Hallister to East Haven for help. His death weighs heavily upon my conscience. For not only was he a student of mine, but he was also a friend and trusted companion. He will be missed, as will Rothgar and the other members of your expedition.
You know about the avalanche?
Oh yes, I know. I also know that it was no accident. Someone or something did not want your party to reach Kaldahar alive.
What's going on? Oh, what is going on around here, old man?
There are malevolent forces at work in these mountains. Forces that seek to undermine the delicate balance we druids have struggled to preserve for centuries.
Malevolent forces? Could you be more specific?
No, would that I could. The face of the evil remains hidden, but its presence is unmistakable. All about us, there are signs of its damaging influence on the balance. The unnatural weather, the recent rash of abductions, the numerous monster sightings in the pass. These all point towards something sinister. Even the animals sense something is amiss.
Can you tell me more about these disturbances?
I can only tell you of what little I know. Which disturbances would you have me speak of?
Unnatural weather.
The weather in these mountains has always been harsh, but never like this. Fierce storms ravage the valley without warning, often lasting for several days at a time, before vanishing as quickly as they come. It is barely midway into leafall, and yet the pass to the south has been snowed in entirely. Weather such as this is most unnatural. Nature presents itself in cycles that are predictable by those who know what to look for.
Yeah, well, this is definitely a fantasy world. Ain't happening like that in the real world. Can you tell me more about these disturbances?
I can only tell you of what little I know. Which disturbances would you have? Oh, yes. Terrible, terrible. At first, There were tales told by travelers of companions disappearing into the night, snatched up from their bedrolls as they camped along the narrow trail that winds through the pass. We did not think much of these tales, for such occurrences are not unheard of in these mountains. Then one night, Conlan's boy Sheemish went missing. The next morning, the whole town searched for the boy, but turned up nothing. He was just gone, vanished without a trace.
Let's see, this is strange indeed. Some tavern ghost stories and a little boy lost in the mountains. Don't you think you are overreacting? Can you tell me more about these disturbances?
The boy was just the first. Several nights later, another disappeared. Megan Potts, the local midwife. Her husband Khalil was grief-stricken to the point of madness. With barely a word to anyone, he snatched up his sword and marched off into the darkness after his wife. No one has heard from him since. And now, the abductions are occurring more frequently. Iden, the old innkeeper from the Evening Shade, was taken only 3 days ago.
Can you tell me more of these disturbances?
I can only tell you, as I'm sure you have noticed by now, there seems to be quite a few goblins about. It is not usual to see so many of their kind roaming the mountains so late in the year. It is almost as something has drawn them out of their holes, like carrion birds drawn to the scent of death. As if the goblins weren't enough, several giants have been spotted moving through the pass in groups as large as 10. That many giants traveling together in such numbers indicates they are organized and are acting with a singular purpose. I have watched their activities closely. Their tracks trace a deliberate pattern through the mountains, almost as if they were on patrol. Another thing, while I was out scouting the giants, I discovered other sets of tracks I have never encountered before. What manner of beast made them? I could not say.
You spoke before of balance. What sort of balance are you talking about?
The balance. It is what the druids of Kuldahar hold sacred and have worked to preserve for generations. It is all around us. It is us. Balance is the harmony that is achieved when man and nature learn to coexist, no longer contending with one another, but coming together as two parts of a whole.
You really take this nature thing seriously, don't you? Can you tell me more about these disturbances? What can you tell me about the druids of Kuldahar?
Balance is the belief that this town is built upon, the very reason for its existence. Druids of Sylvanas, the Oak Father, have tended this shrine since the beginning. For hundreds of years, we have striven to achieve the ideal balance between man and nature. When settlers finally came to this pass, it was the Archdruid Tolban, my predecessor, who laid the foundation for the relationship that led to the birth of this community.
Shrine? What shrine are you talking about?
The Great Oak, the massive tree that stands above us, around us. It is a holy shrine to Sylvanas, for it was he who planted its seed when Faerun was first born. It is a testament to the raw power of nature, a monument to its ability to thrive in the face of adversity.
Man, you sound cray, Arundel.
Thanks to Tolban, the great oak we druids called the Kuldahar, and the town that has come to be known by the same name, have together become a monument of even greater significance. A monument to the balance.
Who is Tolban?
Tolban was the catalyst for the transformation of the shrine from a sacred grove to a thriving community in which man and nature exist as one. At first, settlers were kept away from this site. The druids of old saw outsiders as an affront to the sanctity of the tree and its sphere of benign influence. They erected thorny brambles to keep intruders out, and used their powers to frighten away the men and women that came to build homes in a place they felt was Obviously so close to the gods. It wasn't until the succession of Archdruid Tolban that things changed. Unlike his predecessors, he believed that the settlement of the valley was not only inevitable, but it was actually the will of Sylvanas. He also believed that we had been wrong in keeping the settlers away, and that the Oak Father had intended people to share in the miracle of the Great Oak from the beginning. When Tolban finally became Archdruid, he formed a plan to fulfill the destiny of this sacred site by bringing about a union between the Great Oak Shrine and the settlers. It was this union that the Archdruid Tolban believed would achieve the harmony that we had been striving for generations. The harmony between man and nature. As it stands, Kuldahar is a monument to this vision. The tree and town exist in a natural symbiosis, where it is next to impossible to tell where one leaves off and the other begins. But now, the balance is threatened.
I see. So what are we to do about all this?
I fear that if we do not soon discover the source of these disturbances, then all that we have worked for will be destroyed. The evil that has come to these mountains infects this town like a disease. As its people suffer, so does the tree suffer from the sickness that attacks the balance, corrupting it with its very presence. Already, the circle of warmth that radiates from the Great Oak has begun to recede. We were forced to abandon the outlying farmsteads as a result of the shrine's fading power. If we do not take action soon, I am afraid that the life-giving warmth will cease altogether. Both the Great Oak and the town, nestled within its roots, will die. This must not happen. We need your help.
What, help you? I don't think so, old man. I'm only interested in getting out of this miserable mountains alive, understand? Very well, together we shall root out this evil that threatens this town. What must we do?
I suggest you begin by investigating the Vale of Shadows. It is a place not far from here. Darkness has always clung to the floor of the small canyon, as if the light of the sun itself were wary of the place. There are a number of ancient crypts hidden within the shadows of the Vale's narrow cliff walls. There have been rumors of the dead awakening and emerging from their dusty tombs to walk once more amongst men. If these rumors are true, then I suspect that whatever is responsible for disturbing their slumber may be behind the other disturbances as well. Go to the Vale of Shadows, learn what you can about the happenings there, then return here and we shall discuss a course of action. Good luck, and farewell.
Aye. Har, har, har.
I know, this just sounds like a
Aye.
crazy old man.
Har, har, har. Oh, all right.
Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is audap. You've been watching Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition on Nintendo Switch. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.